10 seconds remaining. Vega Squadron's turn to ban.
Lena.
Vega Squadron's turn to pick.
Earthshaker.
Vega Squadron's turn to pick.
Welcome back, guys. Game number 2 is about to kick off here between Eternal Envy's Disciples and Vega Squadron. I am Durka here in the JD Studios, getting ready. Second game in this best of 3 for the ESL 1 New York European qualifiers. This is round number 1. Early days, but Eternal Envy's Disciples are already going. Look at what it takes. That Clockwork player from last game, Maui, absolutely stunned Vega Squadron into the ground. Interestingly enough, they've decided to ban it out themselves. My co-caster Motpax is here today, and what about that? From one game dominating with Clock to second game banning him out in the first.
I don't know. That's pretty surprising. I guess because you don't want to spend your first pick on Clockwork, like as in the opener, because then there's kind of like two like really powerful heroes going over towards Vega Squadron, and then if your second pick, Clock's a really solid hero, because that's how we saw the Disciples get in the first game. So they went with the Clockwork Gyrocopter, and I don't think they want to have to deal with that little combination from Vega Squadron as well. No techies ban this time. That's the first thing to notice, so who knows?
No Tusk ban either. Kind of
That's
interesting.
Right.
Bounty Clock and then Gyro Leshrak, which allowed Vega to get Earthshaker PL. They didn't want to give away the Lena plus Earthshaker combo, which is so potent of the fact that Lena, once she hits level 3, kill potential just goes roof with a long Fisher from
10 seconds
Fog onto pretty much any mid lane. Swap Storm, Shadow Fiend, whoever they put there, and straight in for the Ember Spirit. Wow.
I mean, with Gyro Bandit, it's kind of, I guess it's known that you're going to eventually go for it. Like, some teams might wait till the second phase, but I would say Vega would definitely ban it out next phase anyway. So just get it secured. And hopefully, I think they're going to hope the Tusk doesn't get banned out, because Tusk Lena is also so solid. She can work as the support role along with the Tusk, especially when you've got that Ember Spirit who you might be thinking about throwing into the mid lane. Because Snowball gives you enough setup to easily get down that LSA. And as well with the Ice Shards, if you catch a couple of heroes in it, it's also an instant setup for the LSA. So
10 seconds remaining.
Just two heroes with like perfect synergy.
What Vega decided to go for, I think, banning out that Tusk is...
They do have first pick though, if they want to go for it.
But then they have Earthshaker plus Tusk and Phantom Lancer. They're kind of... they ban it out.
Yeah, but Snowball Echo Slam.
Yeah, it's good, but having so many melee heroes there is always like scary for me, especially like in the first 3 or 4 picks when I see all of them are melee heroes. I'm just there thinking... a bit awkward. You've got good initiation, but sometimes you just want those ranged heroes standing in the back. Have a hero like Storm Spirit. Jump yourself forward with a lightning, have mobility and things like that. And now we see a second phase techies ban here.
Yeah, I'm okay with
really
that.
Don't want it.
And then banning out the No One Storm Spirit, very good. Obviously, you don't really want an Orchid Carrier on the enemy team when you've got your little Ember Spirit. Definitely a good way to shut him down in the mid game. So not many other natural Orchid Carriers unless they want to go for something like the Queen of Pain. And she can be very good with that pure damage to go through the Flame Guard too, to help try and like finish off an Ember Spirit. So definitely a solid option here for Vega Squadron. But I think I don't think we're going to see the off-lane Queen this game, simply because to me it felt like Vega was really missing a lot of chase. Like, it kind of seemed like the Disciples had complete choice in when the fights occurred last game. Did you feel that way? You know, like what was there to stop them from just walking away? Yeah,
like that's something I kind of noticed 30 minutes in or something when we had this smoke of 5 people from Vega up at top lane. And they smoked and they were chasing EED. And there was no one hero that could say, I'm going to start the fight now. There was Sven who could try and blink forward and stun, but there was no one that had that initiation that they could get there with a long-range stun or something like that. What really they were missing. Fisher from Earthshaker maybe can start things off here, but look at EED. You've already got Lena who goes into Yule Scepter to start things there. Ember with a remnant forward. They've already got the makings of their cores who can follow through on any up.
And, well, like, when I think of Meg, I think of 3-man, 4-man hoof stomps, right, from Centaur War Runner, or the mega clockwork plays. Like, Meg is one of those people that I see decide fights, and he makes good calls, like, or maybe it's his captains who make good calls, but he gets that initiation done. And being on something like the Queen of Pain, like, we saw him lay down some really nice sonic waves, but it just, there wasn't enough control to really allow them to determine who they're going to pick off and have some sort of a picking order during the engagement. So I would look to see a more active hero. Wow, Shadow Demon. Nice against the PL, a classic.
Pretty good against the Dazzle, because you get, again, they're just all of this setup and all of this lockdown that they've got here. That disruption into Light Strike away from Lina, now I'm starting to wonder. It's going to be a roaming duo for them. They've still obviously got a lot of options. Their draft is very open, so great for them. While Vega, pigeonholing themselves a little bit here. Dazzle, PL is going to be the combo on your safe lane. Earthshaker kind of moving but mid and jungle to stack camps up to top. While EED, they're not locked into the... Could even run an aggro tri-lane, aggro dual lane here with the SD Lina.
Yeah, both teams kind of have their little options going as well, with the possibility of the off-lane Earthshaker, but you don't really know what the core in the safe lane is going to be for the Disciples. Now, it could be something like the Lina, and we could see the Ember mid. I like the roaming duo with Shadow Demon, though. It's just so, like, it's a classic for a reason. It works. So it's kind of hard. Like, you don't really know how well Earthshaker is going to do in the off-lane. It really is so dependent on what core they have and what sort of like chase down and lockdown potential the core can add to the supports. Now, with Alina Shadow Demon, it might not need to be very much in order to lock down someone like an Earthshaker. Yep. So I think they're going to look for just more of a classic escapable mid. I just hope they don't feel forced to go back for that Queen of Pain. But maybe the Earthshaker will provide enough lockdown that it's possible.
What else could we actually be looking for? Because common mid-heroes are kind of few and far between, and with Vega picking up the Queen of Pain now, maybe a Wind Ranger put in here for EED, and then have that Lina support with Shadow Demon, Ember Spirit. Safe lane, you secure him enough farm early on that he can kind of 1v1 the Quap once he's got his levels and a bit of gold up there. But
yeah, and I was just... well, one thing about the Quap and the Wind Ranger specifically is that if you have that matchup in the mid lane, Meg could be on something like the Spirit Breaker.
Yeah.
Which is one of his more classic heroes. So Windrunner is also one of those heroes that can survive up against the Spiritbreaker effectively, I would say. Like, just before you get hit by the charge, you pop the Windrun, and that saves you a lot of that bash potential, and you might actually get away. But of course, it might be the Ember mid, so we'll see. They could look for... I don't know. It really depends on where this lane is going to go.
Yeah, I was thinking about offlane heroes. Phoenix and Spirit Breaker were like kind of my favorites for this game for both teams. I think there's much difference between what the team for. And then I realized Axe is out there, a hero that we don't see that often, but now they go for the Spirit Breaker. Eternal Envy's Disciples, great against pretty much any hero here. He can tank up against the Dazzle. There's no one in lane that forces him out, because Dazzle is decent in most scenarios at zoning people. You just right-click them, you allow your Phantom Lancer to run up and hit them a couple of times. Spirit Breaker just, 700 HP, 5 armor, he doesn't give a damn.
I actually love this pick so hard. Like, I'm pretty sure they knew that that's what Vega was thinking for Meg. It's just such a classic Meg hero, and it's so good right now for the Disciples. I'm really liking their draft. And I saw a chat saying that they're on a pretty big win streak right now. And I wonder, like, is it this drafting by PQ? Because both games, like, it's been so solid.
Radiant team pick.
Oh, here we go. So it is going to be that. It looks like they're going to be forced into the offlane Earthshaker, whether that's what they wanted or not. And we're going to get a Shadow Shaman. So talk about some push.
Yeah, we've seen this from VP a little while ago at TI5. They're picking this up for a amount of time. It's obviously one of these heroes that the Chinese teams have loved for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Just be hiding in the trees, waiting for your moment to strike, then you jump out and use your Serpent Wards on a tier 1.
10 seconds
but
and it's really nice when you have someone like the Dazzle, who is that kind of that 6th role, who doesn't really need any farm. That can help you get towards something like a Blink, because he's definitely one of the greedier supports. Like, you really want Blink Ags in order to support same. But we'll go back, and it's going to be another Shadow Fiend, but this time it'll be McGraw. And he was a core player, right? So maybe we'll be looking at... I mean, maybe Shadow Fiend, so he could go to the mid lane and they might still have Ember safe, but I'd say either one is fine. Not typically the safe laner that we see. McGraw has 2 branches and he's running mid.
Who was standing in for EED before? I can't remember what his name was, but now they've got someone.
It was Fury, right?
Fury, yeah. So it looks like they've got their actual player in now, TOP. So maybe that's what's happened. Back to their normal roles. I know McGraw was playing safe lane a lot before they lost Pingvin Check, but I'm not sure how they've transitioned from that. And yeah, you're right. Double branches, no regen whatsoever.
That's just
but
like, I'm just gonna go raise 2 creeps and get my bottle.
Look at the Shadow Demon though. He's got 8 tangos. So you definitely know that the Shadow Fiend's gonna be getting some from friend.
Man, he was just like gone. Like he just bought his branches and like, look. I find that hilarious.
Yeah, you guys catch up.
Has a plan. Yeah.
See you guys in a bit. Just sit behind me for a little while. Mag has TP down to bot lane to get his Observer Ward nice and early as well.
Yeah. This is something that we saw a lot of the Chinese teams doing at TI. A lot of their offlaners love this early TP, run down and get the ward, because you're just not going to get contested, you're not going to get spotted out, and it makes it a lot harder to get off that D ward. And we do see 2 sentries on Teddy, so this is very crucial when you're someone like the Earthshaker. I mean, this is not the best offlaner. You can't contest pulls, like really. So he really needs a good block here on the pull, and I wonder if he'll go for the secondary camp block. That's something that I'd like to see, because I feel like teams have figured out warding and dewarding the pull a lot more. Like it's something that I think you would actively be practicing. But a lot of times they get caught off guard with this pull.
Yeah.
When you just head towards that second camp, you're like, oh shit! Like where'd the creep go?
There's the one spot like down in this kind of corner, or the one over here.
Down here.
Like there's the 2 wards in those spots which sometimes they get spotted.
This one's really good.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because the typical D-ward spot always used to be up here, like north of the camp, and that tended to catch everything in here. And it would catch the magic bush too. But then this one started down here, because that was the other range of this. So then we started seeing it like kind of over here, trying to catch those 2. Now we've evolved.
It's
and yeah, that's another classic one.
Art of warding and dewarding.
And they probably don't suspect this now. Once they see there's no observer on them, they'll know that something's probably gone down. It's not like you're gonna send your Earthshaker wardless down here.
Eddie's got a what again? Maui's up at this top rune spot. There's 4 from Vega up here, and Earthshaker, Mag. I'm not sure this is where you want to be. The observer ward's still down there, but he's not really scouted anyone out. Be a straight trade-off. No contest, really. Maui, though, does have to be very wary of this observer ward here, which he doesn't know about. He's scouted as he places his.
The battle begins.
Look at that.
That's so huge. Yeah.
Ping spam, like, dude, he's got an observer ward. He's placed it over here somewhere. Have they got sentries, though? That's the big question. Solo does not. Oh, it does not. I guess you have to wait for it.
Crazy how impactful like the initial wards can be, because it determines how the lane is going to be played out and like what positioning your supports can take and what routes you're always going to be using to try and put pressure on that offlaner. And they actually popped the sentry down expecting something to be there, but for now no observer and none sitting on Seema either, unless they tangoed something that I missed. But I'm pretty sure the Dyers, yeah, both Dyers observers are of course still safe, because there's the one under Maui and then the one bottom.
Yeah, little observer water mid lane watching across the high ground there. Dancel who's behind. Now Maui, he has been trying to battle it out with Solo in this kind of 1v1, but as soon as the Lancers come, that Ether Shock level 1 does a ton of damage. It really cannot be overstated. Strong that is, obviously pretty mana intensive for Solo, spamming that out every now and then. Old Spirit Breaker has got plenty of stealth, tangos. McGraw at mid though. There could be a blink from... No, they can't. Because PQMZ is here with the Shadow Demon, ready to save his teammate. And it's been really interesting to see how the mid lane has evolved as well. Because, you know, back in Dota 1, it was always the skill matchup. It was the 1 versus 1, literally untouched. It was always one hero, one player against another hero, one player. Now, there's very often dual lanes mid, with things like Naga, Skyrath, now in this game, Shadow Demon, trying to secure the first couple of waves, or first rune, something along those lines for your mid.
At least there's no bounty.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I can think of this scenario. It's just the worst. It's like, there's nothing more depressing than being a mid with a bounty hunter sitting under you the entire time and just wondering, like, can I pop clarity? Like, can I pop myself right now? Like, I gotta go sit under my tower? The mind games.
Can I go and stack and farm my jungle? Am I gonna get experience leached away from me? All these little things that bounty is incredibly annoying. Handling him. Now, bottle timing, what are we actually looking at? Shadow Fiend already has his, and way, while Queen of Pain with the Null Talisman, a little bit behind, but with that bounty rune she picks up, and now the haste on Seema. can't really play aggressively towards this middle lane. Meanwhile, up atop, Solo still in this 1v1 with Maui. And the great thing about Spirit Breaker is that you kind of force this situation where without the secondary support, who is coming in actually now, Dazzle. In the back, still hasted up. Maui has a charge, but with the shackle here, he's level 2 and he's got that disable. The lance and the heal will secure the kill.
Yeah, and you're right, that is one of the bigger advantages of Spirit Breaker, because he really does, like, you can't 1v1 him as a support. Well, at least if you get unlucky, you can't, because if he gets a couple bashes off, like, Solo would have just been dead if it wasn't for Seema showing up. So at least that is giving a little bit more space here to, like, McGraw in the mid lane. You know, a little bit easier time. Of course, he can just raise the camps, raise the waves and then the camps. He's already level 4, so having a pretty decent time. But how about our Mag? Not dead yet. I mean, that's a plus.
He's got his boots as well.
Yeah, but PQ's making his way down here, so now he can't even be close. Because a single disruption, he's just completely dead. Like, there's already 2 points into the searing chains here for top, so he's ready for this little, like, any sort of a pick off, and he's ready to just go in. And I wonder if he was even considering a single point of Sleight of Fist just so that, like, Mag wouldn't even be able to come close, but he'll be okay.
Seeing both teams stack up their jungles as well. Shadow Demon going for the wraparound. Going to try and dive this. They're pushing this lane, aren't they? Yeah, just keep auto-attacking these creeps. You want to push it under the tower. Now, Mag probably, yeah, he notices. He realizes there's no real reason outside of that catapult being here. They've got a very limited creep wave. Damage-wise, they're not going to get much done to this tower because his creep wave is meeting. So the only real reason for this happening is the wraparound from the Shadow Demon. So he's found himself a nice little spot to hide. Give away his position. Seema controlling bot rune here. Take up the bounty. Queen of Pain on the race for top. Blinks forward, and now Maui with charge and cooldown. There's a courier. There's a courier there, but he's not going to spot it out, and he's not going to get that kill. Shadow Fiend gone to, realizing there's no rune down at bots because it's already been there.
Yeah, and now Mag just chilling into this tower, getting some experience, and PQ's back in the mid lane. I guess seeing that they are getting a little bit aggressive here, I don't know if he's just trying to try and get some stacks up and going. They have that large camp already stacked times. Quite a bit of farm for him to fall back on, but meanwhile Patches is up here having a time. 30 CS, no offlaner, fully zoned out by the solo Shadow Shaman. So similar to the Rubik against the Spirit Breaker, right? So that, like, you have that instant lift or you have the instant hex in this case. And they'll probably be looking to go into that. Man, that Ether Shock is brutal.
It really is.
260 at level 3.
It really is. And now he's charging up the top, cancels it, just wants to be within experience range here. The Shadow Demon is still level 1 running around. Obviously, he doesn't really care about it so much this early on. He'd love to have his Soul Catcher, maybe a couple of points in poison. But he's not really level or item dependent. He just goes in, sets up. It's this Lina that does need to get up in her levels as well. She's only sitting at level 2, close to level 3.
She's been spending a lot of time in lane, considering it's an Earthshaker.
Yeah. And with her, what, 670 attack range? What is it?
It's huge, whatever it is. Yeah, 670. But, yeah, it's interesting. I'm surprised she's not doing more pulls. Like, she is rotating in here now. That's closer to the minute mark, but I think they could be roaming. I mean, she's level 2. Maybe they just don't feel like they have enough damage. The raises, they're level 3. So maybe they'll be able to get off on no one if they smoke up.
Can't catch Maui here. Seema is in a lot of trouble though. Maui doesn't charge the Dazzle. Lina's TP'd in here thinking they're going to make it go, but the lance comes out from Pasha. They've got no more mana left for a secondary one. The Phantom rush forward. Life Strike dodged by the doppelganger. A Phantom Ganger. Seema now in a 1v1 against the Spirit Breaker. Who's coming from the side? Disruption from the Shadow Demon. Locks the PL in place and creates a couple of illusions here, but the defenders, Shadow Shaman and Dazzle, are there ready to save him. Meanwhile, at bot lane, Mag, there's no chains, there's a Flame Guard going. Don't even think they can kill him off. Mag gets behind the tower, there's no TPs coming in. He's going to burn through here from the Flame Guard. One more hit from top will finish him off. Just the damage over time, which will secure that. As the TP comes in with 12, no one's here, ready to take him out. Doesn't even need the Sonic Wave. They're going to get the tier 1 at top on top of all of this.
Smart play by no one to know that there weren't any remnants down. I'm not sure. He must have checked the toolbar or something. I feel like I would have been so afraid that he was about to remnant out of there that I would have just been like dropping that wave to make sure that I got through the Flame Guard, but picks it up, and now he still has him in case those supports want to try and make a play on him mid, which I'm sure he's thinking is coming soon, but Lina's level 2. And Shadow Demon's level 2. Like, it's crazy how far behind they are when you look at level 5 solo up here.
Yeah.
Just farm pole camps, and this is exactly what you need on your Shadow Shaman.
And they, you know, it's not because they've been running around trying to find ganks and openings and failed. They've just been sitting defensively, really, zoning out Earthshaker, making sure the Shadow Fiend has a good time at mid. They've been securing time and space for their cores, but if your cores are dying regardless and your tier 1s are dropping, like up at top, then it hasn't really worked out for you. Stacking the jungle is one thing, giving yourself a way back into the game, you know, a great thing to do, a great thing to actually build up your game plan. But if this Queen of Pain's free farm mid lane, she's 1-0-0, her net worth is pretty much equal to the Shadow Fiend when 8 minutes in, really the SF should be starting to have that momentum and accelerating away, building that gap. He should be, what, 500 net worth ahead and then looking towards 2,000 net worth at 11-12 minutes.
When do we get action? Like, what's the point in this game where the fights start to begin and the towers start to get pushed? Like, is there a specific item that we're waiting on here? Because this is very static, isn't it? Like, we're starting to see these wards come down, so maybe it's almost time for the Dire.
Oh yeah, that's a nice point. Between the tier 1, tier 2 mid, I think the Phantom Lancer, you know, just sits up at top. Earthshaker has hit level 4.5. It's difficult to say, because they'd like to give room to the Earthshaker to get up to, you know, level 6, get his Blink, get his Arcanes, things like that. They also want the time for this Phantom Lancer to get up into his Diffuser Blade, or I guess his Yasha. He went for the Morbid Mask, and we usually see Morbid Quelling Yasha as that kind of starting build-up. So you farm faster, so maybe you can brawl a little bit earlier as well. Get into the jungle on top of all of this. But both teams, they have these heroes where Ember and PL, they're both very farm reliant. They want their items and to build up into the late game. Shadow Fiend and Queen of Pain, they're very mid-game oriented. Two very different heroes where Quap is more, you know, fighting, counter-initiating with Sonic Wave and Scream, and Shadow Fiend is more up front, trying to get into tier 1 towers, same with the Spirit Breaker. But the Dazzle and Earthshaker, I think, put a stop to the Radiant's plans, while the Shadow Demon and Lina, who are now roaming through the Dire jungle, kind of put a stop to Vega's plans of fighting early on. So both teams are just kind of sitting back and waiting to see.
Oh, this could be a disaster. Okay, they did not come out. I thought they might try and go to the jungle, but their smoke was wearing off, so they will leave. But yeah, it's just like, I feel like the pressure, if anyone had pressure to do something, it would probably be the Radiant. Like Maui on the Spirit Breaker is a hero that you really feel like you need to be charging to get things done. And although Queen of Pain is one of those aggressive heroes that you want to be, like, she can dominate the game right now, right? Like, you're going around, she's getting towards that Orchid. There's not really a lot of pressure to do it. Like, she's fine into the later game, solo. He wants to get towards the Blink, Mag wants a Blink. They can't pressure.
Sonic Wave's here. You're going to throw it? No one holds on to it. Lina. Lucky there. Did escape with her life. And here's the push in. They've got the ward behind that tier 1 tower. Serpent ward to drop.
Dump them.
Should be able to chip away at this tier 1. I don't think they can take it right now, though, because Shadow Fiend just powering through the Serpent ward. Easy, easy gold. What is that? 250 gold just going straight into his pocket? Something like that? Finishes up his mech. The Lina gets a bracer, actually.
That seems like one of those things that maybe... I'm not trying to like flame or anything. It seems like maybe Solo hasn't played a lot of Shadow Shaman. Personally, I haven't either. I'm not a big Shadow Shaman player. It's not something that I know that well. It's not really a competitive hero we see a lot. But I mean, those were just gone. Like that seems like a complete and utter waste, doesn't it? Yeah,
maybe it's the call saying we're going in here. You know, Sonic Wave's up.
Yeah.
Maybe they try and just go straight in for it. But then maybe the Ember Spirit jumps in. Maybe the charge from Spirit Breaker comes across, and the Phantom Lancer doesn't have a real way to go and fight. You know, he's got 853 HP, he's got damage, but if he does get blasted down by things like the Light Striker, if he gets hit by one stun, he is very fragile in these team fights. This McGraw Shadow Fiend has the mech, so maybe that's also something that kind of played into it. Hang on a sec, they've got the sustain. If we do dive this, we're the ones that are in trouble.
Radiant's bottom
yeah, that's true. Definitely a decent defensive mechanism here, but it's not something that's going to help the Shadow Fiend farm. Might be one of the issues. And are they going to be able to group up and push? I guess they know Meg's not really close to the Blink Dagger with the Stardy head, so they're just going to kind of act aggressively and posture like this and see what they can get done.
Shadow Demon looked like he was in trouble there. One more lance would have finished him. Raw is still holding onto that mech. And Teddy with the Dragon Slaves out to escape, but what are they doing down a bot lane? Ember Spirit, no way! Slender Fist and Chains, he remnants away! Is he really going to escape from this? Charge is coming in, it's not going to hit! Maui very close there to finding the Shadow Shaman. That Ember, though, holy crap, that was close.
That LSA just missed no one in the mid lane as well, and so now even if they go for the disruption, oh wow, that's Pasha. I wonder if they realize that's real. I think they thought it was an illusion.
Oh, they know it's real now. Jacob finishes off the Shadow Demon with a well-timed Fisher, and now Pasha is still going in for this SF with that Shadow Strike and Lance, the Dragon Slave out to try and slow the advance. Charge from Maui will be cancelled at the end as well. PL just wanders in like 1v4. Yeah, what up?
I thought that was an illusion. Like that, they must, because they had everything ready. That was well played. The mind games coming up from Pasha. And secures himself just a free kill. I wonder...
Solo, the Serpent Lord's been dropped. He's got no more Remnants. Fisher, and now the Shadow Strike. Queen of Pain will clear up him. And I'm not sure. That seems like it's an okay trade. Like, funnily enough, Ember Spirit spent all of his gold. He's now got Claymore Broadsword. He baited out the Serpent Wards, so there's no real heavy pushing power. And he got a kill. Giving up your life to the Queen of Pain obviously is not ideal, but it's not awful either.
Yeah, there's not, like, they're pretty spread out. It looks like, oh no, they're not charging Seema, it's just a creep. So, I wonder if Maui will go towards something like the Mice. He picked up an early Bracer, I think just trying to tank up a bit up against the Queen of Pain. Pretty standard thing that you'll see. I mean, geez, when your Spirit Breaker's tanking up, you know you might be in some trouble. Now with 1300 HP, and now the charge coming out onto no one.
Yeah, when one of the tankiest heroes in the game says, I need more HP. Get a little bit rough. Great thing about this observer board behind the tier 1 as well is that it spots out the charge across, I think. I'm pretty sure they got vision of that. There were pings out and they back themselves up behind the tier 1. While Solo, he was getting closer and closer to that Blink Dagger. Still to about 2,000 gold, but now down to 1,800 after that death. Another great reason why maybe that kill on the Shadow Shaman was worth it.
Immediately charge cancelled by Maui, seeing the no one there with the Queen of Pain, so that's good. And Seema's just been up here for a while, hasn't he? He's almost got up to level 6 actually, so he was sitting at level 2 for quite a while. But he got a little bit of space up here, and I guess, I don't know, Maui, like, he's lost a bit of that edge that you really need when you're a Spirit Breaker, like that whole YOLO mentality of I'm going in and I'm getting my bashes.
The fear factor.
Yeah, but Seema's been able to just farm freely up top, like this ward, giving him a little bit of assurance, you know, and this is one of those issues with Spirit Breakers, that if you just don't have that early game momentum, the hero seems a lot weaker than that, you know, GIF-making hero that we see all the time with all his bashes and whatnot.
I'm just looking at the Shadow Fiend now, and he has actually managed to create that gap I was talking about. He's a couple of thousand ahead of the Pain now, or about 1,600 to get up there. But the Shadow Shaman with 3,500 net worth, with Blink Dagger 30 gold away, you compare him to the other supports of the Radiant. Lina has nothing. Like, she's got Brown Boots, Bracer, 900 gold, you know, you can start building towards a Yule. Maybe you go for the Urn, something along those lines. Shadow Demon, nothing to speak of really at all. Brown Boots, going to be buying wards for the majority of the game. But it's a good spread from the Dire, I feel, across their core and support heroes. Dazzle's the only one kind of down there in the dumps with 1,800, but even he's and that overall, Vega have 1,000 net worth lead, but it doesn't really tell the whole story. Ember Spirit's Battle Fury is a massive item. If that comes up and he's uncontested for the next, I don't know, minute and a half, that's how long it's going to take him to farm up that Ring of Health, or well, the rest of the Perseverance pretty much. Got 940 there. Instead of farming, instead of staying safe in the jungle, they're going to go hunting for a kill.
Well, it's interesting they're choosing to get aggressive when McGraw appears to be going for what I assume is a Scotty. Unless he's assuming an Orchid. Maybe it's going to be an early Manta for the Orchid, but...
Well, that'd be interesting. Steamer gets the weave down onto Spirit Breaker and also gives vision of what's happening there, so they knew what was coming across. Meanwhile, the PL has been spotted, searing chains after the Sleight of Fist, and Pasha, he's got no doppelganger. He's slowed down by that purge, and he will get taken out.
I guess he'd have a Yasha, though, if he was... So, it seems like it has to be a Scotty, but it's like against the Shadow Shaman and the Earthshaker, it's a little bit scary to not be going for that BKB early.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. I mean, it's not going to be Lincoln's, right?
I hope not.
Seems like a kind of awkward item to build straight after the mech. But you usually want to go BKB or, well, you know, a defensive item like BKB that's easy to pick up, or an aggressive one like Shadow Blade or SNY, maybe even a Blink. We'll see where he heads to. I think Manta Style is a pretty good item here. You can dodge out some projectiles, you can stop that Orchid like you mentioned. Vega, they're grouping up here around this tier 2. Deny comes out from no one, and he gets himself away solo in the meantime. No, the Maui's here. Charge is on cooldown for 4 seconds. Blink forward, solo. Hex onto Ember. The Requiem was starting to wind up there, but they're not going to go for it. Now the turnaround comes. Steering chains on 2 of them. Charge to the middle. Gets a full-man bash out. The Grave onto solo as Mag is getting bashed down by Maui. Requiem across them all, but the TP out from Shadow Shaman will allow him to escape. Mag on very low HP, going to be saved here a little bit by no one. Blink back and Echo Slam. Mag gets the kill as Pasha comes in as a cleanup crew. Doppelgangers back up onto the high ground, and there's a 2-for-0. Everything there was impeccable from Vega. If things started out badly enough with the great Searing Chains and Charge, they timed every single spell sublimely.
Yeah, and I thought that fight looked so good with Maui getting that was like a 5-man charge, and it actually does give you quite a bit of control. Like everyone's bashed up, they're all sitting there, but no positioning there right from the Lina. Like she was just too far away, so she's not core enough to have something like the Yules or the Blink Dagger to get in there and get a good LSA off to continue that the stun lockdown. And they just, I don't know, they just weren't able to get down. Now you got that Blink on solo, and the wards will be back up in a moment. He'll be heading towards that level 11, so a lot of pressure here on top to really get this Battle Fury done and get some farm.
Well, he pretty much has it after this camp.
Yeah. But Pasha's also going to have a Diffusal Blade.
On top of BOTs as well.
Yeah.
Scary thing, I've seen time and time again Phantom Lancer be that one hero, top of the net worth, and you think, it's just a PL. We've got 2 other heroes that are, you know, very similar in terms of farm with him, but he just comes out and he crushes people. Ability, his annoyance in team fights with the Doppelganger. Now the tier 1 trade-off. Oh, over in the Radiant Jungle, Shackles out just in time. The Orchid from no one here. Be enough? Yeah, should be enough here to finish off Maui. Mid-tier 1's taken out by Pasha, and with the Battle Fury still not complete on top.
Oh, nice. They're going to use the snakes for Roche too with the Medallion.
Dazzle Medallion. We go. There we go. Dire Side, get into the Roche pit. What's the contest here? What's the big AoE teamfight ulti that the Radiant have to get in there and stop it? They don't have that clockwork, they don't have the cooldown this time. They've got Ember Spirit, Shadow Fiend maybe, and yeah, Shadow Fiend's going for this card. He's picked up another Ultimate Orb. Quick and easy Roshan takedown though, as Queen of Pain gets the Aegis of the Immortal.
I think McGraw just feels kind of pressured. Like, he feels like if he goes for the BKB, it's not going to be enough damage because of how far behind his supports are. So I feel like that's why he's not just going straight for the BKB, even though it would be the better defensive item against all of that lockdown on Vega. I think he feels like he needs to strike some sort of a middle ground where he's going to be effective in the fight while still survivable, and he's going to be cutting it close, but these are the kind of risks that you need to take in a game like this where, I mean, maybe it doesn't look like they're that far behind, but it definitely feels like, just with these Blink Daggers on the Dire Side, that the onus is on them to make something happen, or this game's just going to keep slipping away from them, with the PL farming up so hard.
Solo has a Glimmer Cape now. 20 minutes in, Arcane's Blink Glimmer Cape on this Shadow Shamans. Very well for himself. That Mag Blink was pretty pivotal in the previous fight, just to blink back in, Echo Slam onto one target. Yeah, I agree with you. I was looking at the net worth and thinking there's a good spread on the Dire Side, but after that one fight, the good spread, which was, you know, kind of even with EED, with their Shadow Fiend and Ember Spirit racing ahead. Now they've brought themselves into a situation where they are in a firm lead. Queen of Pain, Orchid, and now heading into BKB. They'll smoke up from the tier 2 at bot, and they'll look for McGraw, blink forward straight away. There's the Hex after Orchid, Disruption to try and save him, but there's no real way you're getting out of this one. With the Sonic Wave flying across both of them, even the Echo Slam expended there as well. Maui and Chant Totem's going to stop that TP. It's going to be a 3-for-0. Vega come out of the gates racing.
Great blink by Mag. That Fisher. I think he was going to get out of there. It looked like there might have been an escape possible for the Shadow Fiend, but Mag securing that, and then Maui unfortunately paying for it as well with that Enchant Totem. And Teddy's here just trying to get close to that Yules. I can only assume that would be the item here. Try and curb a little bit of this aggression and possibly get a pick off before the fights start. But with the lineup of the Radiant, again, is kind of the same problem that Vega had. There's not that much initiation or catch, and so it's hard to pick off someone like Solo. And if Solo gets the wards down, these fights are just so difficult. I don't think Shadow Fiend's going to be able to just sit there and right-click them anymore.
Yeah, the one good thing they do have, though, is this Ember Spirit obviously great at defending towers and defending high ground.
Yes.
So their team could pretty much just, you know, play defensively, sit back a little bit, and not worry that much, unless Vega get that one big Blink Echo Slam. Oh, mid lane, Teddy, no!
That's just...
The split pushing Lina! Is that really a thing?
Might have been a little bit too deep.
Poor little Lina. Well, they created space at bot lane, I guess, for McGraw just to head down here. He's got his Skadi done. Next item, I guess, Butterfly. You just go down to, like, the right-click, heavy-hitting truck Shadowfiend build. You go Skadi, Butterfly, then maybe a Daedalus, an MKB, something like that. And...
Maui's getting his Midas.
Oh. Okay.
I just had to point that out.
It's a little bit further away, though, than
It's
than
better
last game.
this time, obviously. Even though they're behind, it's a better hero for the Midas, that's for certain. And he has the Bracer for tank ability, so maybe he feels like this is like that comeback item. They're going to be sitting high ground, there won't be a lot of jungle to farm. Might get him towards something like his own Glimmer Cape, or possibly into the BKB. Oh god.
Maui, not at this rate. The Life Strike Raiders come down with the Laguna Blade off his solo. He uses Glimmer Cape on his teammate to let the Quab escape. Fisher block down two of them on the back as the TP comes in. Pasha wants to fight. He's got a Purge on the Everspray. He's got no way to escape, and the Sonic Blade flies across them both. They take down 3 already as the Shadow Shaman's the only one. But they've managed to kill off Maui. It's screamed into the ground. McGraw finds a trade-off there with a Dazzle. Being killed as well, and that's that little skirmish. Ember Spirit getting picked off. Pasha's TP perfectly placed.
At
Still
least
got Echo.
At least the EDs seem to have come out on top. Oh, unless McGraw goes down here.
Oh, that's a shame. No one loses Aegis. But with the Fisher locking in Teddy and blocking off McGraw, should be free to find another 2 kills. Spirit Breaker is the last one standing for the Radiant. Be a lot of damage onto this tier 2 on top of it.
That fight was looking so good for EED. When no one jumped in there, and, I mean, they had to burst down 1,500 damage on Maui. They couldn't do it. The Bracer saved his life twice in that fight. And just the sheer raw amount of HP, I thought that they were going to be able to turn that fight around, but I guess there just wasn't quite enough initiation from anyone else. Like, the Ember Spirit wasn't close enough to get off that big Sleight of Fist into a couple chains where they could combo a couple other spells, and the Laguna Blade either wasn't ready or just didn't get used. It was a little hard to tell. But Meg might drop here, actually. Yeah, he's going to go down.
The Spirit does manage to get himself away as well. But yeah, it was... Oh, charge. Where's the charge going? He cancels it. Queen of Pain blinks back.
Yeah, a little bit, not quite the synergy there with the disruption.
Yeah, it was like the Light Strike Ray, Dragon Slave in this area were great, but they were too spread. Ember Spirit was over on the east, the PLTP comes in smack bang in the middle of them all, and then they just kind of scatter to the wind thinking, right, we've got to bail on this, PL's coming in, we don't want to fight. In this kind of position on the low ground where they can jump on us, they need to be the ones in a superior position. Sleight of Fist Chain's not going to land onto that Quap this time. Coming in from the side as well.
If only they knew that that was a free pick.
Yeah.
But no idea where some of the dire heroes are. Like, if Solo's just camping there, that fight gets turned around so easily with the Glimmer Cape and his numerous amount of stuns.
Pasha.
And Pasha is so farmed. Like, I assume Gotti next for him, possibly just get the helm, but
Yeah, I'm not even sure.
He's pretty scary.
I'm not even sure what you need to go here. Maybe he's going to get picked off though. LSA's... Oh! What a time! What a time to pause! Right,
That's going to be so frustrating for the disciples.
Let's analyze what's going on here exactly. So, Light Strike Rate landed, which was pretty damn good from the Lina. Charged through, but Solo's already here. Blink forward, Hex on the Spirit Breaker. Pasha is stunned for like 0.75 seconds or something like this. TP's coming in again from the Queen of Pain. He's also got Doppelganger, so there's nothing actually left to stun him up any further. Yeah, there's nothing. He can just Doppelganger, turn around in this fight, and potentially they wipe them here. The Serpent Walls to throw, the Shackle, Ether Shock. Queen of Pain has Sonic Wave, Orchid, and BKB. This is going to be really rough for ED, I feel. Unless they back up and kind of cut their losses, turn back and remnant this Ember Spirit away. try and TP. Yeah, Teddy's just like, yeah, this is not great.
On the plus side, there's no TP from Dazzle and Meg, so we're not going to be seeing Seema or the Echo Slam in this fight. So maybe a couple of them can escape. I don't know. Do you just go all in? Do you just Laguna Pasha during the stun and hope that you can get enough damage to bring him down? See,
that's the thing. There are 2 remnants from the Ember Spirit, and I'm in 2 minds as well. I kind of want them just to bail and maybe lose the Spirit Breaker Lina, but at least get the Shadow Fiend and Ember away. or they go in and just try and destroy Pasha as quickly as they can. And I thought that the Earthshaker actually picked up a Force Staff, but it's Yule Scepter. He's gone Blink Yules. There's no further mobility, so it is going to be a while until he gets up to this top lane. So maybe you're right. They've got a chance here that they can actually take down a couple of heroes without getting turned on. And I can't look up at top lane. That TP noise. Right, I'm going to go look at this bot lane where nothing is happening.
Oh yeah,
The constant TP noise is like.
I like this Yule's out from Meg. Nice little item there to give them a little bit more catch. Like he can blink forward, Yule's one hero, Fisher the other, or depending on what angles they're at compared to him. A lot of Earthshakers will go for something like the Force Staff, but I don't know if it's really I think either one's good. But it's nice to have the Yule Scepter to dispel the Flame Guard on the Ember.
Oh no, not the D word. Wonder if they can find a stand-in or something. Not the greatest time for this to happen.
Yeah, we'll just have a little bit of a remake here. Yeah. Well, why don't we just go back to the 25-minute mark there, guys?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine for us. No, in these situations, you wait until the next minute. Wait until 26 minutes. And then you go and reload. Dazzle doesn't have a TP. Blunder.
Yeah, his is on cooldown. I think he might have accidentally cancelled it because it's only on 4 seconds cooldown.
Oh, interesting.
So there's no other... Unless he just TP'd home, but that seems unlikely.
Good point, actually. I wonder... Maybe he was down a bot lane split pushing away with the Earthshaker or something like that, but I'm not sure. Right. Shadow Demon has returned. Do not unpause, says the Queen of Pain. Very, very clear. Level 2 Serpent Wars, though, for solo. He's hit level 11. Pasha has Mantis... Oh, he's got Mantis Style as well as Doppelganger, so... I don't know. Killing him here is going to be incredibly difficult.
Yeah, and the Glimmer Cape's also on cooldown, though, so maybe. I gotta say, I like that Solo went for the Glimmer Cape before he went into the eggs. I think a lot of players, when you're snowballing like this, you tend to go for something like, I got my Blink Dagger, that's my big item, now I want my eggs, but the Glimmer Cape, it's going to allow you to secure your lead and hold on to it longer. Like, the eggs is great when you're pushing, but, I mean, there's nothing wrong with Pasha farming up a bit more. You're definitely, I think, going harder right now than the Ember Spirit in terms of your farm progression, so just get the Glimmer Cape, make it so that your PL is going to be farming more safely. You can blink in Glimmer, and then work towards the eggs. Like, you'll be tanking up along then. Good call there. And here we go.
Yeah, I was looking at the Faceless Void Courier, but how are we going to see this? Pasha zapped down, he does get taken out! Serpent Balls level 2 are down, but that's a great pickoff. Oh, okay, Lena's level 11, that's one thing I really didn't look at. I was just expecting her still to be, down at level 9 or something like that, but she's managed to pick up her levels now. PQMZ gone in with a Demonic Purge over solo, Blink available, Echo Slam, catches Teddy, but not much else. The Sonic Wave does fly across with Mag, Grave, Dove, they're looking for McGraw here. He's got the Requiem as well as stick charges. But the Earthshaker's yielding himself up into the air, Queen of Pain gets a kill over on the Shadow Demon. Now it's time to retreat. Whoa, where did you come from? Maui in it from the back end, gets the charge kill onto that Earthshaker, but does give up his life in exchange. Teddy, as well as McGraw on top, both TP, farming in that dire jungle.
McGraw played that fight really well. I think he considered running for a moment, but realizing that if he tries to run, there's no way he's going to survive, but his right clicks were enough that he actually fended off everybody with about 200 HP. And then Maui with that space creation in the back on the space cow, and he was able to TP out of there. So Maui making plays. And did you see that charge that he was focused on the Earthshaker, and then Mag blinked in and went for the Echo Slam, and then he couldn't get off the Fisher or the follow up enchant totem or anything because just the way it timed with that charge. So Maui with some forward thinking there, or else that could have been a lot worse. I definitely would have lost McGraw if that charge didn't come in at that exact moment.
Then you're looking at this Phantom Lancer, he's finally back up and running. He's got the Ultimate Orb. So, you mentioned Skadi, and I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be. Don't see him buying a Hex or a Lincoln Sphere. Skadi's obviously the item of choice on a lot of Phantom Lancers. And Panic, Morbid Mask, sometimes you sell it, sometimes it's just for farming jungle. Efficiency-wise, you buy it for the lifesteal laning phase. It's great for that because you don't buy HP regen items as well. So having the Morbid Mask is always very good for just having that sustain in the early stages. Sometimes Satanic, but here when we're likely going to see things like an MKB on the Shadow Fiend at some point, Maybe, or, I mean, a Butterfly and a Shadow Fiend. Maybe you buy an MKB on your PL at some point in this game and just sell off that Mold Mask and Ring of Aquila. Could turn it into a Vlad if you really wanted to. Usually that's an item your Dazzle or Shadow Shaman to pick up.
Yeah, I think it'll be the Satanic. If he decides to keep it, that's true. Sometimes people just ditch it and maybe go for another big major item, possibly like a BKB, but don't really need it this game. With the Laguna Blade and the Bash coming through a lot of that. And then you see they had one ward, the Disciples, but Solo managed to pick it off here with a nice sentry.
Oh, okay. Ember Spirit does get away. He was being dominated by the Phantom Lancer up at top lane though. Top, he's got to be pretty careful about his positioning now. He's got the Crystallis on top of his Battle Fury. A little more damage and he's a little more survivability. So I can definitely see him going for something like a Skadi or BKB himself after this Daedalus is done. Off that little bit more security against the Phantom Lancer who's burning through all of your mana at such a quick rate. And obviously that Diffusal Blade, physical damage from that mana burn as well. Care about your Flame Guard.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Yeah, and I'm
attack.
starting to wonder if, like, is Pasha really feeling enough pressure that he needs to go for something like the Satanic, or does he go for maybe even his own Basher just to add a little bit of extra lockdown for someone like the Charge coming through, and especially for obviously the
I think you just continue going stats.
yeah, just keep tanking up.
Yeah.
I agree.
Skadi, then Butterfly, maybe Satanic is like your final item. But
Yeah, and he still has the Aquila to play with too, so it's not like he's out of slots yet.
Yeah.
Has been denied.
oh, good change there. No one turns. BKB's up. The Scream, Sonic Wave is going to whiff completely, pretty much. But the Trap McGraw inside the Serpent Wards with a disruption, actually holding him in place. Forward goes the Phantom Lancer and finds one kill, looking for the second. Teddy is in his sights, and he'll find the Lina slowly but surely. McGraw now going to be the third one as the Spearbreaker died off in the back. They pretty much wiped them here. Pasha going in ham as they take down 5 of EED and look for the tier 3.
Yeah, not much better places on the entire map to win a fight. Standing underneath the tier 3 tower, so they're definitely going to be at least one lane of racks, and I wonder if the Disciples are thinking about calling it right now.
Well, they've got
I mean, you
buybacks
have
on
to
a couple.
consider it, don't you?
Yeah, they're going to lose 2 lanes of racks at the very least. The DD on the Queen of Pain is making short work of these towers. Pasha, yeah, there we go. GG is called. They realise that even if they do buy back here, there's no real recourse in taking this game back. So game number 2. So Vega, we're going to a game 3 here. ESL won New York European qualifiers. This is round 1. This is the start of the qualifiers. It's already panning out to be pretty amazing. Back in a couple of minutes, guys, with game number 3. After that, we do have another best of 3 coming up later on tonight, which is going to be Golden Boys against 5 Youngs. Ex-London Conspiracy is Golden Boys, and then it's Kuroki's new team. Mind Control, Matu, Yerax, and Bata. How they actually get on in ESL 1 New qualifiers themselves. So I'm Durka, joining me is Modpax. We'll be back after a short break with game number 3.